Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today, I'm going to be giving you a due diligence on Atossa Therapeutics. Hopefully, this one will be more of a detailed one, followed by technical analysis on what I think about this one. So, without further ado, let's jump right into this one. So, Atossa Therapeutics. Atossa itself is a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company seeking to discover and to develop innovative medicines in area of significant unmet medical needs. Atossa's current focus is on breast cancer and COVID-19. Now, they do have an updated presentation from June 9th, 2021, so not a long time ago. And it says basically in clinical stages, the biopharma company focused on oncology and infectious diseases with current focus on breast cancer and COVID-19. So under a clinical summary, they have two different kind of things going on under breast health. Phase 2 study halted with positive data, and Phase 2 for breast density planned for Stockholm. Now, for COVID-19, two therapeutics program, the AT301 nasal spray for at-home use and the AT-H201 inhalation therapy. Now, from there on, you're able to see that some of the things that they do have, for instance, the first program, AT-H201, this here has 3.7 million deaths worldwide from COVID-19 based on Johns Hopkins COVID tracker as of June 8, 2021, and AT301 nasal spray, 174 million COVID-19 cases worldwide. Now, again, these numbers don't take them to heart just because, we have vaccines basically going around. There's basically COVID is not more of a linear progress. We have waves, etc. Now, oral Endoxifen for MBD, 39 million per year, mammograms of 10 million high MBD in the US, and oral Endoxifens for window opportunity, that's more than 200,000 ER plus breast cancer a year in the United States. Now, the breast cancer program, 1 in 8 women experience breast cancer, and around 281,550 women diagnosed in the US in 2021, and the second leading cause of cancer death in American women. Now, moving on from there, there's a bunch of details, a bunch of samples, etc. I'm not going to go so much into that, but here, oral Endoxifen halted early in February 2021 because of substantially positive interim result. Now, the next thing here you're able to see in terms of news, the WHO study safety results. Overall, the Zen vaccines were tolerated. A total of 6 adverse events were reported in 3/7 participants. All were mild in severity and considered related to the study of the drug. AEs were 1 count of each diarrhea, myalgia, dizziness, lethargy, vulvovaginal dryness, and hot flush. No abnormal laboratory findings and no difference in vital signs, physical examinations, and ECGs, and no deaths, SAEs, AEs leading to discontinuation reports. Now, in terms of the next steps, completed IND enabling 28 days of toxicology studies, having a pre-IND meeting with FDA regarding our neoadjuvant program, and my bad, I'm getting a little bit of word twists here, or tongue twists. Submit IND, initiate study upon may proceed letter from NDA and IRB approval of study. Next thing here that we want to take a look at is some of the latest news. Atossa Therapeutics received approval from the Swedish regulator to initiate the Phase 2 clinical study of oral Endoxifen to reduce mammographic breast density based on June 11, 2021. And so that is definitely good news. This is a critical milestone in development of our oral Endoxifens, commented the CEO. We now plan to commence the study as soon as restrictions for COVID-19 in Stockholm allow, and we are encouraged that daily and weekly average COVID-19 cases have been steadily declining in Sweden over the past 6 weeks. If this trends continue, we expect to initiate the study in the next quarter. We have also received useful inputs from the MPA about the development path of Endoxifens. Based in part of the input, we will consider conducting future studies to measure the treatment effect of Endoxifens not only in MBD reduction but also on the reduction of the incidence of breast cancer. In addition to clinical data, regulations will be required that we will develop preclinical information including toxicology studies and information about manufacturing oral Endoxifens prior to regulatory approval. We have now established 2 manufacturing sources of Endoxifens for clinical and potential future commercial use, and we have initiated a significant portion of the preclinical study needed for a new drug application. Next is Atossa Therapeutics announces final data for phase 2 Endoxifen breast cancer. Study primary endpoint met 65.1% reduction in biomarker Ki-67 and secondary endpoint met. Endoxifens are safe and well tolerated. Moving on from there, Atossa Therapeutics announces the first quarter 2021 financial results and provides corporate updates. So part of that includes as well the $136 million net proceeds of financing that begun in December 2020 through the end of 2021. So those are mainly offerings from what I was able to see. They did mention it as well somewhere around in the presentation, I believe, right at the start in terms of the capital. 120 or almost 121 million shares that were raised, and the cash currently is sitting at 130, almost $8 million. Now, the next thing I do want to take a look here is that they began the treatment with oral endoxifens under FDA's expanded access pathways. And so that is expected to commence sometime later on. So I think this was April 08. It still has some room to grow. And the next thing here is as well their year-end 2020 results, which do match the 2021 financial results. And what I'm trying to say here is that they are actually not net positive. So keep in mind that they're much of a heavy research and development company. Now, in order to understand how much that money of $141 million in assets, or specifically $138 million, is going to last them, let's take a look into their expenses. So in terms of their operating expenses, you're looking at a total operating expenses of around $3.5 million. So that is a little bit of a higher average than if you were to look year over year of around $3 million. But you know what? Let's say $4 million. You have around $138 million. They will almost never need to raise any more financial offerings. However, they've done it before multiple times in terms of shares preferreds, etc., and adding more shares for the common shares. But in a sense, the majority of their preferred shares and financings, etc., has only been done in one or two kind of movements. The rest were actually exercisable warrants. So I think that the risk of dilution is very low for this one because they have insane amount of cash. The only time I think that they would basically intervene towards the price point would mainly be, I would say, towards to do a reverse split, etc., if needed. Hopefully that is not the case. It's currently above $4, so currently above $1 at $4.31. Nonetheless, the last offering was around $50 million, raised at $288 per share on March 22nd, 2021. But nonetheless, in terms of institutional buyers, what we get to see here is that institutions are somewhat still bullish into this one. You don't see basically them selling, but mainly there's been a bit of an activity in June edition. Nothing after that for the next 2 weeks almost, and then going back to mid-May, there was adding for shares, but other than that, we don't see much of selling activities going, and that is always a plus. Now, if you would like to see more contents like this, on the bottom right, there's a subscribe button with the bell notification buttons on. It might not show here, but believe me, it is literally right here. Make sure to click that because it helps my channel a lot. A lot of you folks have been watching me but haven't done so yet. Make sure as well to drop a like, and if you would like to join our Discord, you can click show more, join in here, and it's totally free. Let's jump towards technical analysis now. Now, in terms of the 1 month, 1 day technical analysis perspective, there's some good news and there's some bad news. Now, the good news is that the current price point is actually within this thing called the trading action zone where most positive reversals occur. It's between the 10 SMA and the 30 SMA. That is definitely very bullish. And the price point 50 SMA is above the 200 SMA, and that looks good as well. Now, on the average directional index, you're seeing that the price point is sitting very close to 50. You need to worry when it hits 50 because that's where most negative reversals or trend reversals occur. Now, it does look like it actually reversed from 681 down below, attempted a positive reversal down to around the 3-ish or 4, high 3s, low 4 level, and it did meet a bit of a resistance on Friday. The MACD is saying it's going to be testing a negative reversal in the next few days, so keep an eye on that. Willing percent R shows it's oversold, but momentum is still bullish. Now, in terms of stochastic fast and stochastic slow, both are dipping downwards, basically telling you be careful of selling activities and look where the next support is at. In terms of the Bollinger Bands, which is a movement momentum band, volume band, That is between 564 and 201. So expect that the stock would trade within these two boundaries. Now I can go all the way back to 2016 for this Fibonacci retracements where the shares of this stock was around 64 bucks, but there's no point of doing so. So for this, I'm going to only take the 739 peak that was back from 2019 and go all the way down to one of the lowest at 755. And what we see here is a significant Fibonacci retracements support sitting currently at the 407. Below there, 328, and below there, 231. Significant resistances are 485, 597, and 739. Now, from a price line action, you're seeing a significant support line sitting down at the 380 level. Below there, 336. Below there, looking down to the 252, and then 227, going down to 194, and then down to 167, going to 141, 119, and then down to 85 cents. Significant resistance level from what you see is sitting currently at, well, that's another support actually, 416, but the next resistance is 439, very close to where we're at right now. Above there, 489, above there, 538, going towards the 566 level, 605, and then going to 645, and then jumping up to around 710. Comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? I definitely think that there wouldn't be any more dilution when it comes towards this one. Again, it's a pharma. Research and development is very time consuming and very costly. But they can actually survive without the risk for bankruptcy for a while. Now, they can expand into other things with that amount of cash and money that they have raised, and that is a potential. But there's a lot of ambiguity added into this one because we don't know much about the developments of pharmas, how far they are. So far, it's positive results. And they basically have one main pipeline that is still very valid till this day, breast cancer. And the hopes is that they're able to get you kind of a solution or treatment for that. If they do, this stock will make you probably rich. But if they don't, it will probably make you lose all the investments or the money, or at least substantial part of it. And so it's hard to tell you a price target with a time frame. But take a look into this current band. I expect for it, if it does fall back into this band, and it seems like it is attempting to do so, I expect that it might hit anywhere between 350 and 432 in the next, say, 5 days or so. I think that is the range where you can start expecting for it to trade in this channel, which is not a bad thing. You want it to trade upwards slowly. Going parabolic means it attracts shorts and it will really drop hard. And that's what you see right now. So that is what I see about this one. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you made it this far into the video, I do recommend that you go ahead and join our Discord server. There's a lot of amazing folks in here. We do a lot of discussions here into the trading floor throughout the day. A lot of people are in there, and we do ask questions. You can ask me any question you would like on there. We do post research and DDs, and we hold weekly chat sessions. And we also do have a lounge in there. So make sure to actually join that and join the fun there. Have a wonderful day and a good one.